Good morning. Woo! So great. I'm seeing so many familiar faces, family and friends, and I just couldn't be more thrilled to welcome you all today to this lovely venue. It's a chilly Chicago morning, and I can't thank you enough for showing up. I'd also love to give a special shout out to the White Family Scholars from Big Shoulders. I know it's not easy getting up early on a Saturday morning when you're in high school, so I really want to applaud you for that. And if the old adage is right, that 90% of success is showing up, then you're all already winning. So give yourself a round of applause. It's 2020, and it's not only the beginning of a new decade, it's also the dawning of a new day in healthcare. And nowhere is that more apparent than right here in Chicago. Well, let's face it though, we haven't always been the poster city for healthy living. I think we all can attest that actually it's been quite the opposite reputation, thanks to this crew of superfans.
The Bears. With me, as always, are the super fans. Gentlemen, how was your week?
Real good.
Fantastic.
Real good.
Fantastic.
Good. Any heart attacks?
I had one.
Had a couple.
Good. All right.
I'm thrilled to say that we've come a long way from the crew of superfans on SNL. And today, we are excited to celebrate self-care as the new healthcare. Our goal is to inspire you and empower you to take charge of your own health and play an active role every day. We have an all-star lineup of some of the best and brightest minds in wellness and those that are doing really entrepreneurial work, and we can't wait to share them with you, and I hope you met a bunch of them out in the lobby already today. I hope you also felt the love as you entered, and we wanted to have you feel like you're part of the Salveo team. To that end, you were all issued a bracelet when you came in today. I hope you'll take a look down at your wrist, and you'll see two words engraved on your bracelet. Those two words are love and Salveo. Really, when we wake up every day, we just have two things we need to do, and that's to love and to live well. Now, to love, that's something we all know, but sometimes a little reminder is helpful. I often used to joke that if I were ever to get a tattoo, it would be right here on my wrist to remind me that even in those trying parenting moments, which happen every now and again, to just love them, and the rest will all sort itself out. The other word is Salveo, and this might be a new word for many of you. It's really a super word because it's a noun, an adjective, and also a verb. It's Latin, and I like to tell my dad often that he can rest assured that he's getting his money's worth from all of my Latin training at Georgetown, that I incorporated a word into my business. So Latin means to live well or to live in good health. And the reality is we all know that we should be living in good health, and that's the key to vitality. But there's often a gap between knowing and actually doing what we need to feel our best. And that's where Salveo comes in. We're here to help bridge the gap between knowing and doing what you need to live your best life. I get it. It can be really complicated and overwhelming today. There's so much information out there, different experts coming up every week, refuting each other, telling you to run this diet, try this exercise, this one works, no, this one's better. It's overwhelming. Well, I want you to rest assured today because we've got you. We've simplified all of your lifestyle choices down into 6 pillars. I'd like to give you a taste of these 6 pillars today because they're all equally important and interconnected in our own health. So let's start with hydrate. And as my children will say, my solution to most everything is to drink more water. So we're all a bit hydrated these days. One example I can use is, I don't know if you saw the clear stations out front that are taking your biometrics to get you moving through the airports with ease to breathe easy. Well, when they started taking people's fingerprints, they realized that over 50% of those putting their fingerprints down could not be read because they're so dehydrated. So this is really shocking, and we just have a simple solution to that. Drink more water. Next pillar is nourish. Eat real whole foods that don't come in a package or a box or need a label. Eat the foods in the way nature intended them. The third pillar is move. Move your body every day in the way nature intended. Sleep. Prioritize rest and aim every night to get 8 hours of optimal sleep. Breathe. Use your breath to reduce stress and manage anxiety. It's really our most powerful tool, and we all have it within us. And finally, love. Spend more time with the people you love and doing the things that make you happy. We're going to give you a little taste of all these pillars today, but just to help you remember it a little bit better, we actually wrote a song. So we're going to just play a little bit of that for you today.
My tummy is the pot of gold.
Fly away to this groove. You got the hydrate, nourish, and move. BT dubs, don't forget to sleep, breathe, love. Fly away to this groove. You got the hydrate, nourish, and move. BT dubs, don't forget to sleep, breathe, and most of all, love.
Not a lot of sugar, cause I'm already sweet. I like to feel.
I hope that you find that a little catchy and that helps you remember the 6 pillars, and you can all thank me later if you can't get that out of your head on the ride home. We'll play it a few more times before the morning's out. Today we're going to give you a taste of all the pillars, but we're really going to shine a spotlight on nourish. Why nourish? Well, because it's January, and in January we're all pretty focused on our food and what we're putting in our mouth. But I'm happy to say that today we're not talking about deprivation or cleansing or detoxing. Nope, today we're celebrating food. Because you see, we feel that food needs a PR makeover, or to speak in baseball terms, we're hiring a new agent. Because it's been for so long the enemy. And when you eat real food, it can be your greatest ally in getting you energized and your brain focused. This love and appreciation for the goodness of healthy food is something that I only really discovered in the last decade. See, I wasn't always a health nut. Although according to this photo, dating back to the 1970s, at least I always knew that sugary cereal was garbage. The reality is that for most of my life, I didn't make the connection between how food could be your greatest ally. And despite being an avid exerciser, by the time I hit my late 30s, I went to see a doctor and I was diagnosed with FLC syndrome. Has anyone here ever heard of FLC syndrome? Anyone? Well, it's feel like crap. And I'm guessing that some of you can relate to this. Whether you're a high school student snacking on Doritos, chugging down Red Bulls to get yourself through finals, or maybe a busy executive, always on a plane, dehydrated, underslept, and just plain exhausted, or a new working mom juggling so many balls that you've become reliant on coffee to wake you up and wine to wind you down. The reality is, most Americans are suffering from some form of FLC or another, thanks to our fast food culture, processed foods, and what we like to call food-like substances that are laden with sugar. We become a nation eating on the go and not spending the time to nourish ourselves with real food. And unfortunately, this has left us fat, sick, and tired. 70% of Americans are overweight today. 40% are obese. And shockingly, life expectancy in the US has declined for the third year in a row, with researchers attributing that to drug overdoses, rising suicide rates, the obesity epidemic, and alcohol-related deaths. And nearly as frightening is the fact that 1 in 2 Americans currently take a prescription drug each day. Let that sink in for a moment. Almost 50% of Americans take a prescription drug each day. And 20% of Americans are taking 3 or more pills a day. It seems that we become a nation with a pill for every ill. And yet we're sicker than ever with a healthcare system that's broken and doctors that rarely have a chance to talk to you about prevention. All right, let's all take a deep breath. Let it out. Because I don't want you to be scared. I didn't come here today to be the Grim Reaper with all of these frightening stats. The good news is we have an answer for you. And the silver lining is that most of these diseases that we just talked about are not only preventable, in some cases they're reversible. And we have a prescription for you today that doesn't come in a pill or a bottle. No, our prescription for you today is the Salveo lifestyle. And the good news is it's accessible to everyone at any age. And guess what? It's all free. So with that, I would love to get started this morning with a little taste of the Breathe pillar, because again, if you haven't taken advantage of it or not, you have the greatest tool right within you in your breath. It's better than a Xanax, and it has no side effects.